Mr. James from the state of Michigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me this opportunity to speak on behalf of my district and my nation. We are all here because we believe very, very strongly that we have a job to serve those who've served us. I'm here to speak and seek a little bit of guidance for my H.R. 3816, the Veterans Entry to Apprenticeship Act. As a combat veteran and a former business leader, I recognize two gaps that we have in this nation. There's a skills gap with people who are able to address the jobs of now and in the future. And we need to do more with apprenticeship to allow the Veterans Affairs to recognize pre-apprenticeship programs and treat them as apprenticeship programs to lower the rungs to increase access for veterans. But there's also not just the professional side, but the purpose side. We are facing a hopelessness crisis in this nation, and veterans are bearing the brunt of this, and enabling additional resources for veterans to pursue the American dream without dismissing the reality of the cost to the American taxpayers are part of the balance that we need to achieve. And I want to thank everyone, particularly the chairman, for allowing me to seek your guidance and advice on how best to do this on the Veterans Entry to Apprenticeship. I would like to echo the sentiments of my colleague, Ms. Ramirez, mentioning the criticality of housing. One of the components of this bill would allow veterans who are entering this pre-apprenticeship program to be able to allocate some of these resources to critical needs such as housing and transportation. But the CBO has already scored this at $60 million with an M, $60 million over the next 10 years. Do you have any advice for how we can proceed with lower or level cost, and how long the housing benefits should last, because housing is critical?
Sir, there are roughly 18,000 currently in the apprenticeship program for the registered apprenticeship program. Our concerns are that in the pre-apprenticeship program, that's not registered. And so that are concerns that we have, that it kind of levels the playing field for veterans that would use and burn up their benefits for a pre-apprenticeship program. The concern is perhaps they do not have the same measurable outcomes from the Department of Labor. So it's a concern that we have to even accept this as an entitlement.
So understanding that there is a need and understanding that additional draws on resources might be a concern. What are some things that we can do to address this? One of the things that we looked at is state approving agencies, making sure that the programs that are approved meet the standards that are required for folks to be able to matriculate into jobs that pay well and actually helping veterans and not another government grift. Are there ways that we can make sure that we have this accountability down to the lowest level, but also making sure that we are able to help veterans where they need it the most notably with housing in this case?
Sir, we'd welcome to work with the committee and you on this initiative, but you're right on target. We would definitely want the state-approving agencies to have that same authority and oversight to make sure that we have quality programs that would address the major concern that we would have.
This is a bipartisan bill. This is not a messaging bill. This is critical to the health of our nation, and echoing your sentiments, Mr. Garcia, if it's good for the veteran, if it's good for the economy, then we're generally heading in the right direction. We also need to make sure that we get it through the House, we get it through the Senate, and something that can be passed. The fact that it's bipartisan helps, and working very closely with you and your colleagues and me and mine, we welcome the opportunity. One last thing I would like to mention is as we move forward, if there's anything that we see that can improve this bill, I just want to state for the record, Mr. Chairman, that I'm open and willing to make whatever tweaks are necessary to help our veterans. And with that, I want to thank you each for your time and your service, and I yield the rest of my time, Mr. Chairman.